Hey Bunker Labs, this is Jada Nickham, your Northeast Regional Experience Director, and welcome to our continuation of interviews for the All In campaign. Today, we are interviewing a very special guest and friend of mine, Kim Defiori, and she is the co-owner of Badges United. And as you can see in her picture, she also has Thor here with us as well. He's taking a nap, but Thor is her service dog. Welcome, Kim, and thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jada. Really appreciate it.
No problem. So it's been a while since I've seen you in person, and so it's good today that we can catch up and just chat a little bit more about what you're up to and how you are adapting and coping to what's going on right now and how you're continuing to stay all in.
Yeah. So Badges United Foundation, we're a nonprofit for first responders helping with their mental and physical wellness. So normally throughout the summer and spring, we'd host events getting first responders and their families together and just talk about wellness items. So we'd go kayak fishing and then talk about some sleep practices they could help that helps make sleep better. But this summer we obviously had to take a turn because we're not going to put first responders at any risk. So we started delivering meals early in the COVID time, just saying thank you. And now we're just trying to collect different veteran or spouse-owned products, so just food products, and then send them out to first responders. And we also have a virtual yoga class that's hosted by the spouse of a first responder. So just trying to adapt with as little contact as we can. And then we also have a writing project. It's really cool. All these first responders and their spouses submit writing, and they submit it on the site poeticrecord.org. And then Jewel, the singer and songwriter, she's actually endorsing the campaign. And so all these COVID stories of first responders, frontline, and of course their families, because that stress is just unbearable sometimes. Yeah. So we just like a frontline account of what's going on COVID.
Great, that's awesome. And so you said that you're not doing as many in-person events and you're trying to stay digital and then also lend a hand where you can. What do you think is going to be a good tip for those who necessarily aren't first responders, but they're staying at home and they're, trying to practice social distancing, but they're feeling like they're getting a little bit down, they're getting a little bit antsy. What would you suggest that they do? Because you've been a lot through your own personal experiences, and I feel like there's a lot you could definitely share.
Yeah, thanks, Jada. Really appreciate that because I have battled depression. A lot of veterans and spouses out there have, and the best thing is work on your core three. So nutrition, sleep, exercise. So nutrition, trying to get some good calories in. I know it's a pain to eat broccoli, but somehow it gives you better energy than a pile of cookies. Not saying you can't have a pile of cookies, just try to limit it. But getting that nutrition, keeping your meal steady, and then trying to get some exercise, whether it's walking for 10 minutes, just getting that heart rate up, it's going to do a really good thing for your body. And then trying to get that sleep rhythm. So just looking up sleep practices, making sure hey, go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time, and then have that schedule throughout the day. Try to limit naps to middle of the day if you do need to take a nap. I know everyone says they're too busy for it, but I mean, if your body's just aching for a nap, just take one.
Right. I feel like we're all in a very special situation right now to be able to take full advantage of naps, because even like a 10-minute nap can change your entire day. Yeah. I feel like we weren't, being around so many people or, being in that zone of just go, go, go. We didn't listen to our body enough. So I feel like napping is a great tip. And one thing for me that you mentioned too is that sleep pattern. My sleep pattern is completely off whack. And so definitely, what do you suggest with, those who can't, get back to the rhythm, what they should do? Like a timer or what kind of things have you done? Because I know you like to stay up late too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the adult sleep rhythm. Our sleep rhythms are till midnight. So if you're going to bed at midnight, waking up at 7, or if you have kids, I know that can be its own unique challenge. But as much as you can, just making that commitment to go to bed at a certain time. And even if you're not sleeping in bed, just make that your habit.
Yeah.
And if you can't fall asleep right then, that's when you really have the discussion of like, hey, let's make sure you're exercising a little more. We know you sleep better. Try to not eat after 9 p.m. because that can get your system back going. And so there's a bunch of sleep hygiene practices that you can really implement, different smells, making sure you have blackout curtains, and just doing those calming things. So you don't want lights like this when
Right.
you're trying to fall asleep. So start turning the lights off at like 9. Just have like that little bit of lamp. Try to limit your blue light intake, so all those screens, or put a blue light filter if you still got to work. But as much as you can, try to stop and like do your little kid wind down routine of like, all right, you got to go to bed. You talk
Yeah.
a little softer. You turn the lights
Yeah.
down, and then like read your story and go to bed.
That's really good advice.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for businesses that are definitely, pivoting and their daily routine has changed and, we're just in a rapid time of change. So what advice do you have for other businesses that haven't quite figured it out yet to just pivot, or they're really struggling right now and they just need to figure out how to find those other entrepreneurs? What have you done, because you're very social in real life, and I know anytime that we have an event or anytime that we're out and about, you always make a way to make new connections and new friends, and you're always willing to lend a hand to support others. What advice or experience do you have for others who are just still trying to figure it out?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. So, as much as you can, just stop seeing other businesses as your competition right now.
Mhm.
Like, even if you sell coffee, they sell coffee, there's so much
Right.
difference. So, just stop seeing them as your competition and be honest where your business is. So, right now, like, we're struggling to make new connections to first responder departments. I
Right.
never try to oversell my business. I always try to be upfront, and people can tell when you're overselling your business, anyways. And so just being honest with like, this is my struggle right now and I don't know how to get past it, and reaching out to those different businesses. Chances are, I know like Assault Forward, they're an amazing company. And even if they're a product company, but I know if I reach out to them, they're going to help me. They're just a
100%.
really awesome company. And I know there's plenty of other ones. I know like there's a ton of companies out there. Like I know if I reached out to Kelly or Gabi, they would like sit there like brainstorm with me. But I don't ever see them as competition, even if they may be competition in a way. Just see
Right.
them as a collaborative source of, hey, spouses, veterans, we're going to get this together,
Right.
get through this together, and figure it out.
Well, that's it. I guess that's the call to action, is to, lean on one another and actually, try to collaborate rather than compete, because these are very special times that everyone needs to help out one another. So I'm glad that you have that little world and that bubble of support and connections, and I know for sure that you'll continue to do well and keep that high spirit up and positive attitude. So appreciate you sharing that. So you heard Kim. If you're out there struggling, try to lean on your fellow community and those in your network in your city that can possibly lend a hand, because these are the times to help one another and figure this out together and stay all in. So thanks, Kim, for sharing your story. And I think we've reached our 10-minute mark. And give Thor a hug for me, a little squeeze. I know he's really sleepy.
Yeah.
But
Thanks.
we'll stay in touch. And I thank you again for joining us. And thank you to everyone out there also joining us for this video. You guys take care and remember to stay all in.
Yeah. Thanks.
Bye.